Okay, I've started now. So pie chart. So for pie charts, as I said, you use the function pi. So usually when it's the first time you use a function, you can get the help files to help you know what are the arguments and so forth. So we look at the help files for pi by using the question mark pi. And we realize that pi is for pie chart. The description is that pi actually draw what? A pie chart. So the usage means pi, you need X, you need labels, and then other arguments. Now, so the argument, the first one, X is a vector of non-numeric quantities, non-negative numerical quantities. What it means is that you cannot have a negative number. And remember that for pie chart, to draw a pie chart, you need some sort of what? Frequencies. So now let's see how frequencies can be done. Well, if I take the sex of students in this class, I can count how many are males, how many are females. So my sex here is like a frequency. I have 10 females and 15 males. So what do? I write this like this, and then I run, and then I provide names for this. And the names are what? Female and what? Male. Okay. Now, so to illustrate this in a pie chart, I just need pi. Then X is actually what? The sex. So we can run it like this. So there it is. But it's like the namings are even larger than the diagram itself. Okay. So it means that I need to go back, and if you remember this, my graphical parameters, I can set them. So it goes like this, please. It's important you listen to this. Stop that as exercise. It's past time. You may not even be able to submit. So this pi, it has margin. The margin 4. So there are 4 margins here. So the first value is for the x-axis. The next value is for y-axis. The next one is for the top x-axis, and then the other one is for the second y-axis. Okay. So it means I need to provide a vector. So here I can just choose 2, 2, because I'm not going to write over there. Then even the last 2 I can use better. So now it looks better, right? So that's how this is done. Okay. So that's a pie chart. So essentially, if you look back to the help, you see that the labels are names of X. So once you put the X in, R automatically looks for the labels. And remember, I named it female and male, so that's why it retrieves it. And then in the plot, you see what? Male and female. The colors, we can change it ourselves. So by default, it is what? This, but we can change it to any color. In this case, you have only 2 colors. So if you want, you can change the color either by writing it. So for example, I can write red, and you see that as soon as you write it, it changes. So maybe I want to write this and go, so I do that, and then I have it changed. So we can change it. You can give a title, but this is not good. We don't provide titles for graph, because when we copy it in our report, we are going to look at name it or maybe figure this. Yeah. So, but if it is presentation, as we will be doing later on when we are doing the LaTeX training, then you may need a title for this. right. Please, any question on this? All right. Now, so that's one way to do it. Here, I'm going to name it II. That I means that frequency giving. So what we have done is a case where you have the frequency giving. So here, you set graphic parameters. Graphic parameters. The next one, II will be when we do not raw data giving. So if you've been giving raw data, then you cannot just go in because that one will not have any time. So remember the cultivar that we just talked about, and then also the date. Those are categorical variables, right? Okay, so let's look at cabbages. I think I have not, okay, I have not taken the mass data. So I take it, and then now I have cabbages. And then, for example, cultivar. I run it like this. So you see, these are raw data sets. Just a moment, I'll be with you. So display that of the dates as well. You see the levels.
You should hold on. What you did you have this Michael, have you submitted? No, you have done this first. Where compare the money? I was even trying to understand. The number of submissions that he has written there, that's why I was saying we should hold on, we should hold on. Did you say that? Yeah. But he said we didn't even check it. We didn't check. The deadline is February 1st. Yes, I just realized. So you told us to hold on.
He was like the one saying that you should submit.
Saying that listen. But then, so, Mandy, how do you go on the
My own day, 2 million expectation. Then I have to keep all those things. Just one year
time to understand. But then, oh, it's at the box for the second for the code, the code. But the box was straight up made. But then the description of the answer you are giving us. I was even trying to understand the code you did for the second one. But we're just doing the dates and the cabbage itself. So they have to do cabbage head. It's called we have cabbage head. It's here. So when you go here, it will tell you the weight of the cabbage head. So that's the head weight. So I quickly went to the saying you should do this and I quickly went to check. Then I just copied the same tools. I pasted it and I changed it. I didn't know they had the head. So it should be head again.
You're not minding me.
It's three days.
Jesus.
Yours is a place. Mine is also hey. The code you are right. I don't think it.
Okay, please, have you seen that one? Okay, good. So now, remember that for pie chart, bar chart, those is when you are giving this raw data, what do you have to do in order to contract your bar chart or pie chart? Yes. You have to group them. Okay, when you group them, what do you do there? You get frequencies. So you see the first one that we do, we had the frequency. This one, you don't have the frequencies. It's just raw data. So it means that we need to get the frequency. So now, how do you get the frequency? You use a function table. Is that okay? So pass this into table, it gives us the frequency. And then we can now put the frequency in the pie. Is everybody okay with that? So let's quickly do that. Let's get the frequency. So frequencies. So raw data. So in the raw data, you first will do what? Obtain frequencies or frequency table. Frequency table, and then pass frequency to the pi function. So here, let's say we call it f.tab. So it means we need table of cabbage called. So if we do that and we check, this is 30-30. Now in statistics, if I want to get 30-30, we can plot it, but the pi will be what? Equal. In that case, there's no need, if you are writing a report, to put in a graph in which they all have the same frequency. Because you can also describe it with words that they are equal number of what? Cultivar C90, C39, and what? C52. That's it. That's also a description. Is everybody okay with it? So in this case, there's no need to even plot. Once you see the frequencies are okay, you move on. And that you can describe it within the document. Please, is everybody okay with it? So these are the things we want you to have graphs of it. We are only here to train you to be able to write reports, do some statistics. We are not so much, yes, you need a theory, so we need to also teach you that. But how do you actually write report? That's what we, so these are some of the things. So if I take a report and we see graphs in which they are equal, then we know this person is not experienced. Okay. So now let's try that of the you did date as well. And these are typical of agricultural experiments. You evenly distributed. So I'm sure that the date will also have the same number. Is that okay? In that case, there's no need to worry yourself with a graph to show it. So cabbages, let's look at dates. I told you. So you see, it's the same. So this one, there's no need, okay, to worry ourselves. But we can go back to our data. You remember our data? We had the collation. No, ours is which one? Which data did we use in the insurance data? Auto collation. Okay, so let's see. For that, there are some. So first of all, let's take insurance data. Mine is take. So auto collation. There it is. So let's look at some categorical data in it. Okay, so the purpose, vehicle use, is a purpose of the vehicle use. Drive short means drive to work, but less than 10 drive. So this is categorical, right? So we may want to get a table of it to check. Okay, so you know why we are not getting this? If you remember, in the insurance data, to make data available, if you go to its usage, it tells you that you need to attach it before. So in this case, I can do this, I won't get it unless I attach it. So this is very important. So this, especially under examination condition, you know that you have taken the package, the data is in there, but you still can't have access to the data. You have to always check what is the usage of a function or a data set. Its usage means for you to be able to use it, you need to load it with the package or with a function data. So it means that for us to have access to it, we need to run this data. Then after that, I can now get this. So you see now I have all the content. But at first, I wouldn't have it. Okay. So it's vehicle use. So you see this is also the same. It gives you 88888. That's the. So that's also not a good example to use. Oh, but this is strange because let me see the dimension of this. Oh, okay, 32 is not. Okay, so let's get another data. There's also a data set called, I think Olsen also. No, let's use the Auto BI. The Auto BI is a large data set. It's a data frame with 1340 observations. That's 1340 observations. It has case number. It has attorney. Please, are you following? So the Auto BI is a automobile bodily injury claims. So in this case, there are claimants who are represented by attorneys. There are those who are not sex. There's marital status and so forth. So let's look at the attorney. So it means that table, oh, that one too, we need data, right? Because it's in the insurance data package. So Auto BI. So now I can get the auto BI and check attorney. So this one, they are almost the same, but there's some sort of difference, right? Out of the 1,340, majority of them had, majority of them were represented by the attorneys. We can look at marital status. Okay, so this one, you see 1 means married, 2 means what? Single, 3 is what? Widowed, and 4 is divorced or separated, right? Okay, so here we realize that most of them are single, right? 650 out of the 340, 1340 are single, and so forth. So here, if we want to classify or what's the right way to do use? If we want to describe this data, we may say that if you look at this one, it's just like, okay, so 40, 50. So almost 98% are either married or what? Single. Is that okay? So that's one way of representing or describing the data. Then once I do that, it means I have ruled out the minority group, which is divorced and widowed. I have talked about them, so they will be around 2%. Or maybe less than. How did I know that? Well, I can divide this by the total to give me that percentage. So if I add this to that, okay, so they are about 3%. Is that okay? Please, are you following? Look at this. So maybe I should do this so that they appear on the same line. Good. So 47% are married. 49% are what? Single. 1% are 3 is what? Is it widowed? Yes. 3 is widowed. So almost 1% are widowed, and then what? 2.6% are what? Separated or not. Okay, so approximately 97. So we were close to it, but I mean, so approximately 97% of these, the claimants, are either married or what? Single. Okay, and then out of that, I can now talk about which one is in the majority. Of course, the single one. So you see, I haven't really gone through all the, there are 4. So then my first sentence will rule out the other 2, which is widowed and what? And divorced. Then I now come within the other 2, which is single or married. I can distinguish them by saying that those that are single are in the majority. So it means that I have been able to talk about the entire data without taking each frequency and that's it. Is that okay? So when you're analyzing data, you need to look at all this and see which angle you can come for without repeating what the table is telling you. Please, is that okay? All right, good. So now, this, we can now take this to get our pie chart. Remember that pie, we can also use the relative frequency to do it. Okay, whichever way, we'll get the same thing. So let's say I call this M tab. So then I can now get, so So it's the same thing that I put in sum. So pi there we go. So this is it. But remember that 1, 2, 3, and so forth. I mean, if you say this is marital status, let's say if it's a presentation, you now have to tell us that 1 is this, 2 is that. So you better off what? Replacing them before you plot, so that you have married, single, and so forth. And that can be done. So what I can do here is that this will be names. So names of M tab will be equal to let me see, levels, if that is, it may work, it may not. If it doesn't work, let me see. It didn't. So there's no levels for auto BI. What else can I? Oh, okay. No. No, this one I need to call them because it only stores it at 1, 2, 3. But there's I hope you are following what I'm doing now. So you see here, they say 1 is married, but it is not stored like that in now. And you want to plot, it's showing you 1, you now have to tell the reader 1 is this. When you can actually create your, like the names and plot it. So what I'm going to do is that instead of levels, I'm going to create a vector, right? And that vector must first deal with, the first one is married. So your first argument is what? Married. Is everybody okay with this? The second one is what? Single. So you come here and copy single. The next, okay, the next one is what? 3 is what? Widowed. So I copy paste. And then last one is what? Separated or divorced. Let me just use divorce. Like that. Okay. So now my M tab will have names, right? So you see names, married, and so forth. And then if I now create my pie chart, it gives me, you see, now it's labeled. So this one, the graph, you can, interpret it quite easily than the 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, now of course you can also change the colors if you want. So this one, I can also sample 4 colors from the rainbow. Like that. Okay. So that's it with this. But these graphs, they are not nice. Sorry. The pie chart we have done is not nice, right? So forth. Okay. We can get elegant pie chart from Plotrace. So Plotrace is a package that is, it's a 3D, so it's called Pi 3D. Okay. Sorry. So now let's see. So let's all install the package Plotrace. Plotrace. So go to packages, install, then start typing plot, and then you see it, you select it. So this is what I mean you should do. Packages, install, then you start writing plot raise. Okay. So this one, plot raise. Let's all install it. Let's all install the plot raise command. Sorry, plot raise package. And then after that, we are going to do the same thing, but now with 3D. And we can even explode it so that the sectors come out of the plot raise. Have you installed the plot raise package? So do question mark pi 3D. Question mark pi 3D. Question mark pi 3D. So what does it say?
Displays 3D charts with optional reports.
Pie chart. So let's do the plot raise. So question mark pi 3D. Okay, so it says on display on 3D pie chart. So let's look at the first use of it. Just type pi 3D x is equal to the no, I think you have not loaded your file. Yes, the plot raise, when you finish, you need to load it. That is taken. I will take this. Yeah, and now do your question mark.
Hey, what happened to your laptop?
No, it's pi 3D is cap. The D is cap.
This one is not D. So I was not able to.
Let it come under the table.
What are we to do?
Because we did this.
The object name and price.
The auto correction.
Why do you auto correction?
I'm saying it's
Auto
okay.
correction.
So in the beginning, see we're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lucky. How do we keep it? How do we keep it up?
Okay, so when you draw my attention when you're so now let's do it. So now let's go back. Let's start with this. So instead of, so copy this, pi 3, pi m tab. Now we are going to change this one to what? Pi 3D. So let's copy this, paste it down, and then change, add 3D. Is that okay? And let's see what we'll get. And then we'll add. So in other words, pi 3D and x equals to delta. Yeah. So let's do that. Good. Okay. So somehow so yeah. So you see now you have some sort of a 3D.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Now if you look at your help fast for 3D, this one has no labels, right? Good. So you see the other one we have labels. You see what the names of it. This one doesn't have it like that. So it means you have to provide the labels, right? Good.
But can we add legends?
Yes, you can. You can also put legends, whichever way you want it. But it's so let's look at it. So pi 3D, I'm going to take this. So like this. Who can tell me why I'm getting this problem? I have not called the package. So it means I need to go and look for plot rate. And then I run this. And there we go. It's sitting somewhere within. Now, don't do graphs like this. And you put it in Word, and your graph, we need a magnifier to see. Okay. So this one, we'll go in and check. So first of all, the graph is too small. Second, it has no labels, isn't it? So let's look at it. So it has a radius of 1. So it means that I can take the radius and increase it. Is that okay? So let me change the radius to 2 and see. It's becoming bigger. So maybe 4. Better. Is everybody okay with it? Yeah. 5 maybe. If you choose 10, it will go out of your... Yes. Okay. Then there's also height. Okay, so all this you can read about it now. Edges, number of lines forming the ellipse. Radius, the radius of the pi, height, the height. So theta, angle of viewing. So you can explore everything over there. So height by default is 0.1. So let's choose, let's say 0.4 and see. You see it's becoming bigger. So it's like you have absolute control over what you want to show. Theta is angle of viewing in radians. So you see now it looks like that. 1.2 and so forth. So this looks nice. But of course we don't have the labels. So let's go in and check where we are labeled. Labels, it says optional, but it shouldn't be optional for us. So labels, we can say it's all names of all. This one we cannot say X, but rather what? M tab.
I know, right?
And it's, you see where, so married is up, single is down, but the divorced and widowed, the frequencies are very small, so it's unable to align perfectly on it. But you can reduce the size of the labels. So there's, yes. You can also have it as a legend if you want. Yeah. So this one, let me see, does it have a legend? I think so. Yeah, but it doesn't have, but let me see. Because it has dot dot, you can also. It doesn't. So it's not a parameter. So if we want to provide legend, we need to go outside of it and then select. Yeah, so I think you just have to go with the labels. It's the easiest way out. The legend can be done, but we need to describe the, take it and make it a color and so forth. So let's go back. Labels. So I can reduce the size. Is this sex.label? Okay, let me see. If it doesn't work, then it means sex.asis. It isn't. It's label sex. From the health function, it says or label.sex. Yeah, it's label sex, yes. Label sex. So when we reduce it, by default it's 1. So you see it's now decreasing. Yeah, so once you understand the principle we use in getting a function, the rest, whenever you are at your workplace and there's a problem, you just go to Google, search for it, and then once you get a function, you can play around it to fit whatever you are going to do. So that's how you get what? A pi 3D function. We can actually also even add the percentages. Is that okay? So I'll leave that to you as an assignment. So assignment. You don't like assignment? So add the percentages of each sector to the labels. So that's it. Any question? Please, any question? Okay, then let's take quickly a bar chart. So that's it with pie chart. 2, let's look at all. Bar chart. So bar chart can also be used in this. For that one, in our, we use bar plot. Please, if you have any question or you are struggling, let me know so I come around. Before I move on. You have to check whether you name. You said only married and widow. So, but there were 4 of them. Why you are reading? It is not so, but if you want you to begin. Is there any questions? Are you okay? Are you okay? Any questions? We are okay. We're able to get rid of it.
that's the highest copy. So that's what we write as the answer. Related to the cultivar. Wait, the frequency is the U. The frequency is the general one. The frequency has nothing to do with the cultivar. Or they did cultivar against. The frequency has nothing to do with the cultivar. The E is C50 or something. That's why I'm wondering how they what conclusion they can draw from this. Probably they are just using their overview of how that topic will be. No, it's just letting you know that this is also focused on the yeah. We didn't read.
Any question? Are we okay? Okay, then let's move on to the bar graph. So the bar, we use bar plot. So let's all do question mark bar plot. Question mark bar plot. As soon as you start typing bar, it will show up and then you select it. Okay. Yes. So bar plot is like this. So this one, the arguments are what? Height, width, space, and so forth. There are so many. We don't need all of them. You can explore later on. But what we need, first of all, is the height. And the height are just the frequencies. Good. So now what do we do? Let's say the height is the same M tab that we use. So you have something like this. Okay. So now this one, we don't have the label and so forth, but I need to change my graphic parameters. Otherwise, I can't write on the y-axis. Why is it so? Remember, I close it to 2, 2, 2. 2 is not far enough. Oh, sorry, big enough. So rather increase it to 4, but this one can remain 1, 1. So like this. So now I can write around it. So if I want to write y lab is equal to the here it will be what? Relative frequency. And then X lab is what will be the X lab? Marital status. So in effect, this is what we want. And of course, we can color it, right? So this, we also select 4 colors from the rainbow. Yeah, so that's it. You can't see the down there, so we can use sex dot axis. No, it's not sex dot axis. So it should be sex dot label. Let me see sex dot names and see. Yeah, okay. So sex dot name. Okay. So sex dot names will be the name, the axis, and then axis will be the y one. So let's see, which is it makes sense. Okay, so that we can see each of them. So yes. The other one. It's okay. Man must see it. Don't mind it. Or instead of relative frequency, we may put percentage. I think that is even better. So that gives you the percentage of women who are. You remember it was 0.49, right? Okay. So you see at the top, I can also limit the y, the y's. If I want you to see it well, I can go in and also provide y lim. So that's the limit of y. You see it's the limit of y, and so I can 0 to 0.5. That will make sure that I see all of them within the range. There we go. Yes.
What I'm going to show the exact percentage, marriage, as you see some graph that give you the exact percentage at the
Yeah. That's what I gave as an assignment. Okay, so all what we need to do is to remember we calculate the percentage by dividing it by the sum. What you need to do is to attach it to the label. We call it, and you can use paste. So you paste it and it becomes a vector of characters. So it will have, let's say, married with that percentage and so forth. And you can use it as legend or superimpose it on the graph and what have you. Okay, please, any question? Is everybody okay with this? Okay, now we are not done. Now, let's see. You see, if we check their marital status, sometimes you want to be, please, any question? We are going to go on to the next one. So that's the base. If you don't understand it, then we get to the other, then we compound the problem. So can we move on? Can we move on? 5. Should we take a break for 5 minutes? Okay, let's take 5 minutes break. When we come back, then let's take a break for 5 minutes. When we come back, then we'll do the composite. When we come back, we are going to check whether, for example, your marital status determines whether you teach anatomy or not. Yeah, so that we can also use Okay, so now let's move on. So we are done with all these are the 3 qualitative graphs that we will talk about. Okay. We are now going to go through when we have quantitative data. What do we do? So quantitative data. So for a quantitative data, the first one we can talk about, first graph will be histogram. So what is the difference between a histogram and a bar chart?
Histogram is together, bar chart is separate.
Good. Why? Okay, so let's move on. So for histogram, we use what we call haste. Haste. So let's look at the help fast for haste. It says what? Histograms. Description. A computes or histogram of what? The given data values. Now, so let's look at the usage haste X, and there are so many things, density, and so forth. So X is what? A vector of values for which the histogram is designed. All right, so let's look at our Auto BI. We had some variables that were quantitative, like the loss. Right? Or claimant's age or what have you. So loss, let's look at the loss. So this is what it looks like. Now look over here. What is this? Histogram of auto dollar sign loss. If you send it to someone, they won't know whether you are the loss is in dollars or if it is the weight of people, histogram of weight dollar, that. So whether weight is measured in dollars or what have you. So usually we don't need this title because we are going to name the figure in our report anyway. Okay. So to take this one out, we use what we call main. So the main, so if you go to the help files, you have main. So look at it. It says what? So you remember that your assignment, I said you will use paste. This is how the paste can be done. So you see, you are pasting a string of characters plus something that X name. X name would mainly be it's the other side, but the name of the vector you are putting in. So that's why we have histogram of. What name are we putting in? That's the word auto BI loss and so forth. So that's how paste is used. So the function was, if you have you calculate the percentages, you have to paste the name of the your marital status, the married, single, and so forth, with the percentages. Okay, then what it's going to do is that it will take the married, the first one, take the number and then put them together. Then you can add a percentage sign. Okay, I'm doing your work for you. So if I paste, let's say, here, I'm going to talk about, let's say, okay, let me just use married. And let's say 1:3. Okay. Now look at what will happen. Then I'm going to put percentage. So this will give you a clue as to what will happen. Do you get? So I can do this as what? A vector of names. So what I can do here is that so married. If I even want to put this one in bracket, I can. So it means that if I want it to be in days, what will happen? It's like everything, and you have this. So we can also do handling, what do we call it? Strings. Yeah, in R as well. So that's it. So it is this that you are going to put, but remember everybody is not married. So what I needed to do was to now put, let's say if it is 4, I can put, what was the name of that one? I think, or let's say, I'll put, no, I'm coming. Here will be the row names of, is it a C tab, right? Whichever way. Either C tab or M tab. Okay, so here, it will also give me the same, oh, there's something wrong. Yeah, there should have been a comma here. Is that okay? So with this analogy, all you have to do is to just get a percentage and put it over there too, right? And you don't want the percentage to be 21.0112, so you can round it off. 0, and so forth. Yeah, so please, yeah, these are, you have absolute control in now over whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Okay, all right. And if you want to get those ones with error margins attached to it, you can have that one too as well. It's up to you. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, so histogram, main, if we don't want anything there, what do? We just put an empty name there. So empty, and then we run it. So there's nothing there. Essentially, this is what you want. But if you look over here too, you have what? Auto B. So this we have to change it. And we have to change it. That will be what? S label. And over here we have what? Y lab. Okay. So, why is this thing going off here? Okay. So